Good evening and welcome back. I am Johnson PJ once again here with the second part of the video to explain the reason behind the coincidence of inertial mass and gravitational mass. But before that, I have to tell a few words regarding space without which I can't move forward. So here, the word space means in this concept does not mean the outer space alone, nor is it the place in between, but space is the very stuff with which the entire universe is made of. That means there is no vacuum in the universe. Everywhere there is space, and here the matter is the other side of space. That means the perceptible form of space is called matter, and space is the non-perceptible form of the same thing. That means mass and energy, which are now considered as the two sides of the same thing, according to this theory, is faulty. That means mass energy equivalence is not existing. Then many will frown at me, I know, I'm sure, because we have many evidences in nuclear reactors, Chernobyl, Hiroshima, Nagasaki, and many other places, and the nuclear weapons we have. Of course, these are human folly exploded in many places. Okay, let us come to that point slowly. So this theory says that energy has no existence of its own, but it is just an expression of either matter or space. That means energy is not an entity to get converted into matter or vice versa. Think of a simple pendulum. When it is swinging, the kinetic energy and potential energy are being interchanged. What is the role of matter there? Think of that. That means energy is just an expression, just like thoughts are the expressions of brain and waves are the expressions of water. That means if someone argues that we can interchange them, how absurd it is. That means this theory states that space is evacuated by heavenly bodies. That is called a space evacuation or space entry against a tremendously moving universe, and that is the cause of gravitation. That means there is no vacuum in this universe. And energy production, as we perceive, is really the space formation. And that time energy is expressed, that is true. But when compared to space, matter, time, life, and energy are nothing compared with the space, because space is the only entity that has continuum in the universe. And that is why compare the matter with the space. Matter means including antimatter. How trifle, how little they are when compared with the space. So why special relativity, in spite of all its achievements, failed to relate gravitation? Why? Why Einstein had to come up with general relativity to explain gravitation? Because by the unification of mass and energy, things are gone out of his hand. That means space eluded, and that was why he had to come up with general relativity. And if the space-time curvature is existing, I don't know, as I told in the previous video, that I don't know tensor or calculus, but philosophically I know things. If ever space-time curvature is existing, that is due to the space entry or space evacuation. So in the universe, let us see how the universe is working. That means the stars and other bodies are producing energy, means producing space, and that space is evacuated. Therefore, there will be always a proportionality between the total gravitational force and the total energy production in the universe. That means space is converted back to mass, and that mass is disintegrated into space. And mass is converted into energy and mass is converted into space is almost the same. And this m is equal to E by c square is a very useful equation in this philosophy also, because it is working, although it is working as Boyle's law worked with the spring theory, because we can utilize that equation to formulate this mass space interconversion, but it requires lots of mathematical input. We have to unify all the forces, nuclear force, electromagnetic force and gravitational force, all these things we have to incorporate. So just think that space entry is the cause of gravitation here. Okay, I know that many can't accept it, this space entry, because mass will change, all these things. That we will discuss in the next video, because I can't prolong this video so much. That we are going to discuss, of course, because a lot of things are to be discussed, and there are already proofs for mass space interconversion from Newton time to up to now. Okay, let us see that later. So just now let us think of the space entry or space evacuation. So here, just imagine, okay, no need to accept this. Just imagine the space is entering en masse into the planets and satellites and stars according to the mass they have. Then a system of acceleration comes into existence, because space is being converted into mass. And now let us see how the coincidence occurs. When a person is blocking an object against the gravitational field or holding an object against the gravitational field, it is equal to accelerating it against the space, because gravitation is space entry. That means when a person is measuring inertial mass by accelerating the object, or when the person is blocking the object against the gravitational field, these are same thing. That means the person is doing the same thing, although our mind declares that we are doing different things because we are using different equipments and we are using different methods. That means one we are accelerating, one we are blocking. Both are accelerating it, because gravitation is space entry. Therefore, when someone does the same thing, how that person get two different values? That means there is no two different mass, only one mass. That we feel as two. There is no two mass. That means inertial mass and gravitational mass coincidence is not a mere coincidence, which was a mere coincidence in Newtonian physics, but Einstein contemplated on it and came up with general relativity to the best of my knowledge. Okay, so this is actually challenging mind, but this is the reality according to this new space concept. And mass energy, about mass energy interconversion, we have to discuss a lot. Mass energy equivalence and mass space interconversion, what this space concept argues, we have to discuss a lot. That in the next video I will do, and afterwards I will come up with the reason behind the relativistic effects. That also is challenging mind. So thank you for bearing with me, but we have to discuss a lot more things, and this is not to challenge Einstein or Newton, because they are my gurus even now, because m is equal to E by c square is one of the greatest achievement, and I still admit it. My admiration is not necessary for Einstein, because he was so great a person, just like Newton. Both were very great thinkers, and what they did with the contemporary data was the greatest thing any great genius only could do, and that they did, and I respect them even now so greatly. It was because of their contribution that I could move forward a little bit, and if this is correct what I am saying. But there are so many proofs for this concept what I am arguing for. Let us discuss it slowly. Please give me an impartial ear, as I stated in the first video. Thank you. Thank you for bearing, thank you for tolerating me. If you can tolerate me, you can tolerate almost anything, I think, but thank you.